Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table, where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style. Hey everybody, it's Yo Taylor back here at the Style Table. Today my lovely guest is Teaira Abston. She is the CEO of Dreamcatcher Creative Studio, LLC. She's here to talk about her business and her style. Welcome to the show, Teaira.
Hello, Yo. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
So it sounds fantastic, Dreamcatcher Creative Studios. What do you do?
So I am a branding and a web design firm that specializes in helping service providers rebrand their business. And I do that using brand strategy and design. So I pretty much help you with creating the goals for your business and then helping you to use the visual components in order to reach those goals. So traditionally, most people may think of me as a graphic designer, but I do a lot of strategy up front in order to rebrand the businesses that already exist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of businesses could use you. Now,
yes.
You're a studio, so are you in a facility?
So currently I'm a home-based business, but I have a list of creatives that I work with. So I have a team of people that's all over. And so typically, depending on the client, I pick my designer based on, what type of client I have. But a lot of my clients are women and there are service providers. So they have a harder time, I think, selling services other than like a product. You know what I mean? So that's mostly who I serve.
Yeah, as a service provider myself, it is quite challenging trying to really get your message out.
Yes, absolutely.
And having everything just flow. And as you're thinking about things and you're trying to get yourself out there, sometimes you're like, should I change this? Should I change that? I'm on my third logo.
Yes.
I mean, I'm working on upgrading my logo. You're constantly you have to work a little bit harder. Actually, in my opinion, a lot harder than when you have a product to just put out there. So yeah, you have to be far more creative. So that's why, guys, everybody who's watching this, you need Teaira to help you. If you have a service-based business, absolutely. You need to get, and you can see by her style that she's creative.
For sure. For sure. I definitely love showcasing my creativity and my look. I love switching it up. I love vibrant colors, all that kind of stuff.
So what do you advise women in business to use more colors when, in terms of, I tend to gravitate towards black. After a while, my friends call me the priestess.
I love it.
I love black. My logo is black. So it's just who it's my power source. So do you advise women to break out of that, or do you advise women to use more color in their branding?
So it really depends on the brand and what you're trying to represent, who you're trying to attract, who you're trying to work with, because ultimately that can help dictate what your color should be. I think a lot of us kind of lean more towards the black. I used to do that a whole lot, especially when I work in a corporate type of setting. But now I have a little bit more flexibility to show my personality, and I want my brand to come across as fun, as vibrant, as a little bit less traditional. You know what I mean? So I always tell people to think about how they want to show up, what type of vibe they want to create, and then also the type of people they want to attract. So your colors may kind of be showcased in that as well, because people feel certain things based off of what the colors, based off the fonts, based off a lot of the branding elements that you may think of when you think of like visual components of branding.
So that's, I mean, even the fonts, that can attract a certain person might be, say, well, that font isn't really my style. Maybe I'll go on to someone else.
Yeah.
So that's how, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to speak to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting how detailed and how visual people are, and how so much of what people see can dictate how they choose someone to work with, places to go, decisions that they make based on little details like that, which you think is a little detail. It's actually it's also a very big decision when you're creating your brand and your logo.
Yes, absolutely.
So you work with a team of people. What type of people do you work with your team if someone were to hire you?
Yeah, so the first person that you would come into contact with would definitely be me. I help a lot in the front end. I do a lot of the getting to know your business, the strategy piece, understanding the foundational things, understanding the goals of the business, where you're trying to go, etc., to make sure I have a full picture of like what you're trying to do, not where you are now, but where you're going. And so I can create based off of that, whether it's me or whether it's another one of my designers. So I also have a lot of brand designers that I work with. And then I also have web designers. So those are like the core people that work with my team, or with my clients. And then I also have an operations person, but she's mostly, I would say, internal facing. Mostly anybody that encounters people on my team are designers, whether they're brand or web designers.
Oh, wow. So you're a full service branding business, and you have people to really help you help women really build their brands. That's fantastic.
Yes, I'm excited about the change. So it's been a transition. It was just me for a long time, and now I'm kind of transitioning more to like the agency model, I would say.
Wow. Yeah, I totally feel you on that. When you're starting and you're making that transition and you're taking on staff and all of those things, and to have your brand moving in one direction where you don't have to think about it. It's just you. It's your face when your face can't be there.
Yes.
It's so important. It's so important. So now you are a mom.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, I am a mom.
So let's talk about your style. You have a very busy lifestyle. A mom, you're running an agency.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. How do you have to show up for all of those things?
Well, it depends on what I'm doing that day. But a lot of my time, of course, is spent behind the computer working. Sometimes I'm on call, sometimes I'm not. So what I like to do is base my attire on what I have planned that day. So I try to, especially during the week, I try to say I'm going to do calls, I'm going to do Zoom interviews and things like that. Typically it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I get all made up, I get all cute, I wear something that showcases my brand and my personality. And I also try to do a twofold approach where I can create content as well, versus on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I typically dress down because I'm running with my daughter. I may be trying to cook before her and my husband gets home, things like that. Then on the weekends, I get to get cute and dress up again. So it really just depends on what the day involves, who I'm meeting with, what I have to do and so forth. But when I speak, I love to figure out like what type of event it is, who's going to be there, so that I can dress appropriately based on that for sure.
So when you dress to speak, you do it based on the audience.
Yes, based on the audience, based on the kind of event, whether it's like a conference setting versus a workshop, or whether it's Zoom. Because sometimes, Zoom calls, you only really need to be top up, right? You don't necessarily need to,
Right.
you want to be comfortable, right? So it really just depends on what it is and who I'm speaking with. But I usually I like to have a statement piece, whether it's a necklace, whether it's like your glasses. I normally have like a cheetah print glasses similar to that, but it's pink. I like to have a statement piece because it kind of opens up conversation. And what I'm finding now is that a lot of people, they pay attention to my background, my wall, and they comment about that when I do Zoom calls. So yeah.
Well, that's a great piece of art you have back there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot more exciting than what I got going on there.
Yeah, listen, I just redid my office probably 5 months ago, and a lot of people comment about it. And I was like, okay, I guess that also shows my personality and my creativity, because I didn't even realize it was such a big piece of my brand. Just naturally, I was drawn to it.
So as a matter of fact, as you speak on that, when I look at what you've chosen for the show to wear for this call, I'm looking at all the colors in the artwork. Yeah, it just flows. So it's awesome. So now, when you dress what's the difference when you dress for a conference, if it's at a big conference center, and as opposed to a smaller venue when you're speaking in front of a group? What are the differences? You said if it's a small venue, you might dress different than a larger conference. What are those decisions? Why are those? What types of things
do I think about?
Yeah, what do you think about to make that decision?
A lot of it is, I want to be cute, but I also want to be functional. So if it's something that's like a quick workshop where I go in and go out, like a 2-hour event, it's like I can be super cute. I can wear my nice heels because it's only for a limited amount of time, versus if I have a conference where maybe I'm speaking, but I'm also attending for the entire day. I try to think of something that allows me to also be comfortable. Maybe once I get off stage, I can have my flats ready to go. I can have something that's, the top can still be cute with or without a blazer. Stuff like that is what I think about when I'm doing a short event versus a longer kind of event, where I have to constantly be on, constantly engage and network with people. So that's really important to me. And then sometimes it may be dependent on the weather, of course, as you know. But a lot of times I kind of steer more towards, comfortability, but also being cute. It's a fine line, of course, but definitely depends on the duration of the event.
Now, do you think that since COVID, people are showing up more casual to these events? Since you said some of how you show up is being dictated by your audience, do you find that the audience is more casual now, less suited for some of your events?
I do feel like
determine your outfit?
Yeah, I do feel like more people are casual, I would say now. I haven't been to a whole lot of events since COVID. I feel like I've been to maybe a solid 3. I just went to a networking event like 2 weeks ago, and people were definitely more casual, I feel like, than before. But I also think it could have been the hours in which the event happened. It was like after hours. So overall, I would say yes, people are going for comfort more so, and having that flexibility to have like a pair of heels and then also have flats for like long day conferences and things of that nature.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, of course you can help everybody. If you guys need someone who's in branding, has an agency, who can meet all of your needs, you need to talk to Teaira.
Yes.
And remember, she is a CEO. She is running things. She's got you. And she's also fun and bubbly and beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
So you want to work with somebody who's fun and who's going to get to know you and make you feel like, they've got it handled, but also you can relax.
Yes.
That's the energy I'm getting from you. Totally.
Yes. I love to make other business owners feel like I'm just as invested in their business as they are, because ultimately I want to see them grow. I want to see them expand. And so I always like to make them relax and talk to them about some of this stuff in layman's terms, because it can be overwhelming. Rebranding for people, I know a lot of folks are so nervous about it. And then when we start to get into the process, they relax. They're like, okay, I know you got to handle. I know the next step. You're not just throwing me out there and saying, pick a color or pick a decision on the logo, you know?
Right. And you guys, that's the way when I'm working with my clients as a wardrobe strategist, I want you to feel comfortable, know that know that I'm going to help you because I'm good at what I do. So I love it. But it's also going to be a fun experience. We're going to laugh, and we are going to make sure that you feel comfortable when you step up on that stage. The last thing I want you worrying about is whether or not this is hanging out or that's not secure. You're just comfortable and up there banging out your new brand.
Yes.
You just got set up with Teaira. And I want to make you look good when you're up there.
For sure. For sure.
So Teaira, please tell us how we can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so you can definitely go to my website if that's what you want to learn more about my services, learn about all the different things I have to offer. Also, read a little bit about my story. I like to tell people the beginning, how I transitioned into what I do now, because people get a greater understanding of me as a whole and what I can bring to the table. So you can go to my website at dreamcatchercreativestudio.com. And I would say I'm most, comfortable being on Instagram. I feel like that's kind of like my home. I'm always showing up on stories, always sharing information about branding, strategy, and all that stuff on Instagram. It's under Dreamcatcher Creative Studio. And I'm also on LinkedIn under Dreamcatcher Creative Studio and Facebook.
And you guys know where you can find me, Yo Taylor at thestyletable.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at The Style Table LLC, and you can see Teaira and many other fabulous women who are doing big things at The Style Table on YouTube LLC. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.